This changes everything for the Minnesota Wild, as a recent injury update coming out of this team regarding Nico Sturm has set the Minnesota Wild in a completely different path than what we had even a couple days ago. We're going to be breaking that down, as well as Filip Gustavsson and Jesper Wallstedt both coming out talking about the plan that they have for the upcoming season, as well as Jesper Wallstedt speaking out on the contract of Filip Gustavsson. We're going to be breaking it down, going over everything that we just spoke about here in this video. Before we do jump into it though, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you one favor, and that's if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Minnesota Wild here with daily videos. You won't want to miss it, especially with the season starting officially today, and the Wild starting very, very soon. But like I said, we need to get straight into this, because obviously the Wild are now in a bit of a predicament heading into their first game, as our fourth line center Nico Sturm, and once again, recent acquisition, now is out for a little while, and without a timeline yet, we're going to be breaking down what we know thus far. And this comes from Michael Russo today. He had a big spiel on this. Be sure to go check it out on Twitter and the responses as well. Let's go have a look at this. He says, on the Minnesota Wild season opening roster, Matt Zuccarello was placed on the IR and Jonas Brodin was not. It's not necessary since they have the roster space open, so that doesn't indicate yet whether he can start this season or not. Milne, Butler, and Leskovar will be on the injured non-roster list till medically cleared. But as you see here, Nico Sturm has not yet been named, but he did quote this tweet saying, Nico Sturm, who practiced yesterday but has been dealing with a back injury all camp, is suddenly also on the injury reserve, and Hunter Haight has been added to the season opening roster. So good for Hunter Haight here coming back. As we know, he was very close to making this roster. Ultimately did not get the chance with Nico Sturm here, but as we spoke about in that video a couple days ago, it is in a matter of time that he will make his return, whether it be injury, whether it be him just playing so good that they had to call him up, and now having the opportunity here to start on the opening season roster is a big bonus for him, albeit it does suck for Minnesota to have to see Nico Sturm at least go on the IR right now. But this is not all Michael Russo came out with. He continued on by saying, perhaps we'll get further update tomorrow, but indication I'm getting is Nico Sturm's situation isn't good. Wild really need these young guys to make an impact, or I could see Bill Guerin having to address this. At least he has the cap space. So Michael Russo right here, after saying this, really provided the insight on how bad he at least thinks this injury is from what he has been hearing. The fact that they're going to need these younger guys to step up. If not, they will have to make a move to get another center. So by the sounds of this and by the sounds of what Michael Russo is saying, this is not a short-term injury. This sounds like it's going to be something that we may be dealing with for Nico Sturm for at least, I'd say a minimum of 4 weeks to a month to 6 weeks at this kind of pace, and how he's describing it by needing to make a move, because as we know, if he were to miss a couple games, you'd have Hunter Haight here. He'd be good to go, especially on the fourth line, and like that, you could move on. But at this point right now, this at least seems like it's going to be a lingering issue, and has been a lingering issue for this team thus far. And when we do go take a look at the roster, you see Hunter Haight there taking that spot of Nico Sturm on that fourth line there at center. And of course, the 21-year-old has made himself proven to be able to be on this roster, being amongst the final cuts here. We're going to have to see not just him, not just Daniil Yarov, but also Liam Ogren step up, because as we see it right now, and as far as it's looking, you can see how young that fourth line is. 21, 21, and 21. I mean, you're not seeing many lines across the NHL with 3 21-year-olds on here, 2 of which who are set to make their NHL debuts. So we're going to need to see big things here. And of course, the fact that Nico Sturm is going to be out, and as Michael Russo said, the fact that we may need to see Bill Guerin address this via trade really goes to show how serious this is going to be. Now, there is something in me telling me that this line still will be good. I feel like as we have Daniil Yarov, Hunter Haight, and Liam Ogren here, we've seen that they will still need to find their position to solidify this team. They're not going to be staying on the fourth line, but we have to see them how good they play, how they can play at the NHL level, and especially with each other. And as we kind of go through here, we have a few players that can move up and down. Of course, Jakub Trenin was on the fourth line last year. There's a chance you may see Yarov, Ogren, maybe even Hunter Haight move up to that second line. But as it stands right now, there's a lot of moving parts here on this roster that the Minnesota Wild don't seem to have solved yet. So this is going to be something that we're going to have to see over the coming days, and especially heading into Game 1, how they do line up for this game, and also what the plan is going to be for the first couple of games, because at least right now, Hunter Haight is going to fill that hole, I think, perfectly. He's been, as I mentioned, he's ready to make this roster, But to adjust to this level, the NHL regular season level, we're going to have to see how that comes out over a couple games length. And then we go from here. And hopefully we do get word about Nico Sturm tomorrow, the severity, and hopefully it is nothing bad. But as of right now, Hunter Haight is going to be taking this over for the time being. And I mean, last year with the Iowa Wild, 34 points in 67 games. Very, very solid for a 19, 20-year-old in his first season after coming out of the OHL from Saginaw. And even with Saginaw, he proved the kind of player he is, and especially in the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a big year for him. And as a player that he is now, and the development that he's not just had from last season to this year, I think he's going to have even more development coming out of this preseason until the next couple of games he plays. I'm excited to see this. He's deserved the opportunity, even though it does come at a pretty tough time and a pretty unfortunate situation for the Wild. So let's say, hopefully Nico Sturm does come back from this, and hopefully he comes back A-okay here on this topic. So let me know what you think about this injury below. What do you think Bill Guerin may do on this? Do you think a trade is coming, or do you think that he's going to check out this line and these three players here first to see how this goes before jumping the gun and making a move like this? But as we go on with this, there's a few other interesting things that are happening with this roster. Filip Gustavsson, of course, signed this new deal, $6 by $8 million for 5 years, a phenomenal goalie contract, let's say, among some of the peers that he's around the same contract with. He is far above those and should honestly be among some of the top in the NHL. So the Wild got a pretty good deal out of this, but the plan for Jesper Wallstedt there was caused a lot of question. Of course, 2 years left, $2.2 million, still an RFA afterwards, but whatever happens, we still don't have an idea yet. But Jesper Wallstedt did speak out about this, as well as Filip Gustavsson, and this is what he had to say. I don't think it changes anything about the contract. I'm still here to prove myself every day, getting better. Gus is a great goalie to be with. The way we compete and improve together, I have so much to learn from him, and I hope maybe that we can learn something from me, that we can improve as a duo and help this team win. Now, having two Swedish goalies here is obviously a great thing, because you see these guys are going to have the chemistry already that a lot of these players who are from the same country do. But having him come up and learn from Filip Gustavsson learned from Jesper Wallstedt, and also provide what Marc Andre Fleury taught Gustavsson. As I've been talking about, I think that this tandem is probably the best thing for the Minnesota Wild. And I shouldn't say probably, it is the best thing for the Minnesota Wild going forward. And the fact that we still do have Filip Gustavsson here under that very, very good deal, and proven to be a goalie that at still such a young age can hold this net for years to come, as well as what we see with Jesper Wallstedt. Things are going to be serious in this crease coming over this, not just this season, but also for years to come. Now, going into this as well, I mean, look at Jesper Wallstedt's stats. There's no doubt that he was not ready to start this year at all. And of course, Filip Gustavsson now having this year still under his belt on his first contract, now going in next season to that $6.8 million. He's got a lot of room to improve, and I think that having Jesper Wallstedt here, giving him that kind of push as well to even get better and better and better. I like the way this is going to be playing out, especially with how these two will kind of develop each other and help Jesper Wallstedt develop into his full self and have a very good tandem here, as that's kind of been the wave across the NHL over the past couple of seasons, is having two very good goalies go as, you know, really whatever you want the coaching staff and the goaltending coach to switch things up. So I like how this is working out, and especially the way that these two are reacting to it. It is just the best possible scenario. Now, Filip Gustavsson also said this as well. All the pressure, all the spotlight was on Fleury. I just went there, played games, and I could go under the radar and do my thing. After that, I just kept building on that, and I got more comfortable. And I hope this is what Filip Gustavsson is really going to teach out Jesper Wallstedt. Teach him that, you know, the pressure, although it's there, it's not a big deal. You go out here, you just play your game as he did in the past, and we saw how good that worked. Filip Gustavsson coming in from, traded from Ottawa, going under with Marc Andre Fleury, having him develop now into one of the best starters in the NHL, no doubt. And now doing that for Jesper Wallstedt as well. This is just a great series of events for this team, and I'm excited to see how this does work out. So I want to know what you guys think about that here in the comments below as well. But that is all I have in this one. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Nico Sturm, the plan that Bill Guerin's going to have, and how things are going to play out with Hunter Haight and this younger line, at least right now, what the fourth line is looking at. I'm curious to see how your guys' reaction and kind of what you would do if you were the GM would be. I think there's a lot of questions surrounding the Wild at this point, surrounding this now, and what the plan is, we're going to have to wait and see over the first few games. So, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below, but that is all I have in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out, though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.